Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
All right, everybody. Nate and Joey right back here with you. Another one. We're doing another one and another one. Keep on doing them.
Yes, indeed.
Got a guest with us tonight. I met this guy a couple of times, and I could not remember his name. I felt bad about it. I knew it was one of the names that I knew, but by God, Nate had told me the name, and I don't know why I could not remember it. But he's got one of the coolest names in the world. His name is Armando Hidalgo. Everybody knows Hidalgo. Hidalgo's like this badass horse movie. So you gotta remember that, and I'll have to remember that name forever. So without further ado, our guest tonight is Armando Hidalgo, and he's got part-time hunting dogs on Instagram. He's still fairly new to the hog dogging, but he's putting in the time and the effort with it. So y'all welcome him to the show. Armando, what's happening, buddy?
How you doing, sir? I'm good. Like you said, I'm Armando Hidalgo. And I think I've been hunting for 3 years, maybe. Super new at it still. Yeah.
So how did you? Well, tell everybody who you are, where you're from. The same old routine that we do.
Yeah.
And then give us a little lowdown on how you got into hunting with the dogs.
Okay. So I'm Armando Hidalgo. I'm from Oregon, actually, on the West Coast, and I didn't grow up hunting at all. I grew up like in not a hunting family. I fished a lot growing up because I come from a fishing town, but didn't grow up hunting at all. I think the first time I ever hunted was when I was like 20 years old. So I learned it all on my own. I ended up moving to the East Coast because of the military. So the Marine Corps brought me over to South Georgia, and that's where it all started. I first started off deer hunting, with the bow and everything. Mm-hmm. And after that, I seen a video on YouTube, running dogs on hogs, and I was like, oh, it looks so cool. So I wanted to try it, but I didn't have any dogs, so I kind of just left it on the back burner for a little bit. And then I went out and got my first dog ever. I had never had a dog in my life as well. I didn't grow up with the hugs. So she was this little mutt off of Craigslist. It's like this little hairy dog. She was like a boxer mix or whatever. She was pretty much like a pet for me and my wife for the first year, because my wife didn't want me to hunt her and everything. But I started running her down in Georgia. I would run her on armadillos and shit. And she wasn't a really hard dog. She just bayed everything. So I can't really blame her. She wasn't a hunting dog. And then after that, I kind of came across you guys and seeing that you guys had the Yog crosses, the Bull Terriers, all that stuff.
Yep.
And I got in contact with Antonio, and I think you guys know him.
Yep.
And I got a little. It was a Yog Bull Terrier cross, and so he was my first hog dog ever, and he was doing real good. I ran him for I mean, I ran him pretty young, honestly. I started him off at 6 months old, and same thing. I would just throw him in the woods, just run whatever, and um, yeah. And then crazy thing is how I actually got property to hunt hogs is I went on Facebook. Usually doesn't work, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm new to hog hunting. I want to get my dog on hogs. Does anyone want to help me?" And some guy reached out. He's actually a real good buddy of mine still. He's like my mentor and everything. He's the one that like got me into it and like taught me the ways, you know. But yeah, he reached out and he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "You can come hunt with me," and that's how like all started.
That's pretty cool. It's good to know that there are people out there like that that are willing to take a chance. I'm one of those type people. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen the same messages, like you said, on Facebook, or actually not a message, but a post, and there's zero response. And then I'll private message somebody and be like, "Hey man, if you're serious and you want to go hunt, holler at us. You can go with us." And usually that's how I make some of the better friends that I've made over the years. So I think it's pretty cool that it worked out for you like that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And I still hunt that property with him. His name is Daniel Fear. I don't know if you guys know him or have heard of him. He goes to the bay competitions
Yeah,
as well.
I know
But
that
yeah,
name. I've heard the name anyway. So
yeah, and he's got a real cool property down in Palm Coast. It's like he manages like a golf course, so like we just get to hunt on a golf course, which is pretty nice.
yeah,
Um,
that's real nice. It's better
yeah,
than hunting in a lot of head high briars and all these mountains and bluffs and some of this junk we gotta hunt.
yeah, for sure.
Sometimes we get some real nice stuff that's it's not real bad, but uh, generally our properties are more remote, which
Yeah.
it holds a good population of pigs. So how do you guys hunt? What type dogs do y'all road hunt, rig hunt? Y'all cast them, walk hunt them?
So with at the golf course when we hunt there, we ride around in the golf carts and yeah, pretty much kind of like road hunt them.
Mm-hmm.
And the dogs will cast off into the woods and we'll sit there and wait for them to do their thing, and then if they come back, whatever, we'll keep moving. But yeah, he pretty much um, those are the dogs he runs, and that's what I was running as well. But then um, he's been real busy with work, so I haven't been able to hunt. We haven't been able to hunt that property a lot. So that's why I'm like kind of moving to the long range dogs because like around my area, because I'm here in right next to Savannah, Georgia. So it's kind of a bit of a drive for me to go all the way down there. Um,
Yep.
so that's why I'm like looking for different types of style of dogs. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's if you got to have a dog that's got to get out there and beat the bushes to get a hog up and moving, bigger properties, stuff like that. Yeah, you have to have a little different style dog. Um, Now, you guys, do y'all tie your hogs and bar hogs and stuff like that, or do y'all dispatch all of them?
Yes, sir. We just tie them and like bar them
I
for
got
the
you.
most part, and then but like on the golf course, yeah, when obviously they're there to manage it, so we'll like take them out of there.
Yeah,
Um, but,
I got you. That's pretty cool. The golf courses, man, it takes a lot of money to keep those things up and operating and to keep them groomed
yes,
and the maintenance and stuff like that. So, I mean, a feral hog could cause a tremendous amount of monetary damage to a golf course in a very short time.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Is that the only kind of hunting that you do now?
Um,
Is mostly just the hog dogs?
I yes, I like I said, I started off with deer hunting. I was like hardcore into bow hunting, but once I got into hog dogs, I was like, yeah, I'm done deer hunting.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I
Yeah.
promise you, it's like it's just really hard to find anything else that has that same type of adrenaline.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tough there to make a. I've had people they're like, man, now turkey hunting is it's one of those things to where it can definitely get you blood pumping. But I've had people, try to make the comparison to deer hunting or some other type hunting, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know any other type of hunting that you're putting your hand on an animal that can hurt you, your dogs, or whatever, and you gotta physically remove it.
Yeah, that's I
That's
think
a
it's
little different. Well, I mean, it's more primal to it. We're getting back to the primal instinct part of it.
Yeah, sure.
So, what kind? When you said you're going to looking more for some long range dogs, are you wanting to get cur dogs or hounds or what? Because there might be some listeners out there that have something available.
Yeah, maybe like a cross, like the 50-50 cur hound, but yeah, something like that like goes, because I have another buddy that's that we hunt in St. Augustine sometimes as well on his club, and I mean they run open hounds and they got, like I said, a ton of property, and like I seen them hunt one time and I was like, man, I might get some hounds now, because like they drop those dogs on the track on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never hunted like this, right? Like my cur dogs that I had, I couldn't do that where I just dropped them on the track and they would go. These hounds literally did it within they dropped them on the track within I say 10 minutes, they're already running the hog. And I'm like, damn. And they had a bait up. And I'm like, that is crazy.
Oh yeah, they can definitely get it moving. That's the style cur dogs we have, or try to have.
Yeah.
And the reason we use more cur dog stuff is because we try not to run dogs that bark a lot on track. We have some that do bark though. I mean, they'll bark some, but they don't bark a whole lot. But at the same time, like you said, it's a whole different deal when you're hunting with those hounds. It's pretty exciting. There's no doubt. Like you said, you kick them out, man, they get moving, they get gone.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars N Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hound and Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
Yeah, it is a different type of hunting. We'll see if I end up getting some.
Maybe so. Maybe you'll find you something good that'll definitely get busy with it. So if you had a preference on hounds, or I mean, do you have a preference on hounds? If you could get what you wanted, let's go to that. Let's go to, if you could get the perfect dog in your mind, give me the breed that you would have in your mind to do what you wanted to do with it. And how would it hunt? Let's do that.
I mean, I would want it to be a hound, honestly, because the speed and everything, and with what I've seen, the running deer walker hounds that they run on deer, because that's what my buddies use. They just get them off of deer hunters and just transfer them over to hogs.
Yeah.
But honestly, because I'm so used to just running straight silent cur dogs, I do like the barking, but at the same time, it does annoy me sometimes. So I know it's super hard to get a quiet hound, so that literally would be the ideal dog for me, a hound that was just dead silent.
Yeah, and they're out there. And it's weird because a lot of people that I've met in the past that had silent hounds, they hated them. They wanted open hounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if you want to get rid of the silent hound, yes, just call me. I'm all about that. But they're out there. But for some reason, hounds just tend to open up more.
Yeah, for sure.
But I got if let's see. So what age? You said you've been hunting for what, 3 years? Around 3 years or so, and so you were predominantly walk hunting.
Yeah, so like backtrack a little bit. So after I met Dan and he introduced me to hog hunting with dogs and my little terrier, I actually ended up moving to North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina. I got because my job sent me over there. So I had no one to hunt with. So I ended up actually losing that little terrier. To this day, I don't know. I was actually running him by himself on a WMA. Kind of stupid, but he ran to the river and I never heard from him ever again. So either a gator got him or he drowned or something. But yeah, after moving to North Carolina, I ended up getting 2 cur dogs, which I think you guys met one of them, which was Kuda. He was that big brindle cur dog.
Yeah.
And then Nacho, he was a everyone would just call him a Florida cur. He was just a red cur dog that came from Florida. And I got them as young. Kuda, I think I got him at 3 months old, and then Nacho, he was around 6 months old. And I had no one to hunt up there with, so I just started taking them to the WMAs when it was during deer season where you could run the dogs and stuff, and I would just walk hunted them. That's pretty much all I did all deer season. And at first they didn't do shit. They never found me a hog or anything. But the next season where I was able to walk the dogs, they kind of started picking it up, and they started finding me hogs like crazy, and that's when it kind of started popping off with me with those 2 dogs, those 2 cur dogs.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it there. And in that the first season that you do that, I went through the same thing where it's like you walk a million miles and dude, you don't find a pig. It's like, damn, what am I doing wrong? And then it's like all of a sudden it starts, and then it just escalates and just keeps rolling. And I mean, that's just, I don't know. It seems like that's how it works when you walk hunt a lot. I don't know if you just start finding better places to hunt, or the dogs get better, or I'm sure it's just a combination of all of it, But
yeah,
it's really good when all that comes together like that, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the first hog they ever found, literally, I think I got one of the best videos ever. It was a big red boar hog, and he was just a lazy hog. He literally didn't even run. He got up from his bed, ran to a down tree, and just backed up in a dog. And I mean, there were puppies at the time, so they just had him bayed there for the longest time. And I was just videotaping it, and I was like, hell yeah. And yeah, that was their first hog they ever found on their own.
That's pretty cool there.
Yeah,
that's a good first hog too, because it gave them something that they could work with instead of getting just shit wrecked and getting hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's what happens a lot of times. You get young dogs together and they're inexperienced, and you're inexperienced, and it can get bad real quick.
Yeah.
No doubt. So is Dan that was the only guy you were hunting with at the time?
Yeah, so after I moved to North Carolina, I was by myself. But now that I ended up actually, crazy story, I got sent back to Georgia, so now that's the only person I'm hunting with as well. And then our other buddy, which we hunt in St. Augustine. But yeah,
that's cool. I mean, I think there's 4 of us that hunt together most of the time. Well, 5 now. We got another guy that hunts with us pretty frequently now, but usually for years it's only been just a couple of us. We have people that come and hunt, but we have our own little group, our own little crew there, and seems like it just works better when it's just 2 or 3 guys who you can trust, and everybody knows what they're doing. They got good dogs, and there's no bunch of bullshit,
Yeah, for sure. I don't really like hunting with big groups.
it can get very frustrating,
Yeah.
especially when you have those guys out there that all they worry about is if their dog's the one that struck the hog or if their dog's the one that bait the hog. I'm like, dude, there's 20 dogs out here. It don't matter. We're just hog hunting.
Yeah, for sure.
It gets to a point where it's like I don't even care. It's just as long as we're having a good time.
Yeah.
So, what kind of tracking system do you run?
So I was running the Alpha 100. That's what I started with. And I still had it at the very end here, but I just recently got rid of it to upgrade to the 200i.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, but yeah, pretty much just the Garmin.
I got you. That's what we like to. We ain't gonna say that's what we like to run, but that's what we run.
Yeah.
That can be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, for sure.
What about cut gear, stuff like that?
So for those two cur dogs that I ran for the longest time, like I said, I just for the longest time I was just honestly solo hunting. So I did run like the strike vest on both of them when it was like not super hot. But after a while, you know how it gets real hot, and like I couldn't really run it during the summer.
Yeah.
So I would just pretty much them go naked, with nothing because I don't want them to overheat. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
that heat's a bad deal.
Mhm.
So, did you ever have to deal with anything like that? And with being new to the hog hunting stuff with dogs, how did you deal with injuries? I mean, was it hard for you to deal with them, or with being in the military and stuff? Did you have some type of training and stuff to go along that made it easier? Is what I'm saying.
Actually, yeah, kind of. So actually, another story is one of the very first hogs that I never caught that my dogs actually like jumped and bait up was it must have been a nasty like rank boar hog because I actually at the time I still had my little hairy little mutt dog. She was in there, and it was Kuda, her, and Nacho. So I had three of them at the time, and they had it bait up, and I run up to it, and the hog broke, and my little mutt dog in the chest. She wasn't wearing anything. The other dogs were wearing the vest,
Yeah.
but I thought she died because the hog broke, and she comes running like screaming, and blood is just spilling out of her chest. I'm like, oh shit! And I was by myself. I was like, oh, like I'm fucked, like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I kind of didn't really know what to do, but then like it kicked in because I have some like life saving uh you know training. So I carry every time I go to the woods, I carry a first aid kit, and I took out my quick clot, which is like it's like the cloth stuff. You guys
Oh
probably
yeah.
seen it where you stuff it into the wound. Yeah, I don't know if that was the correct way to do it to a chest wound, but I mean, I stuffed it all the way in, and she was pretty much like dead. I carried her out of the woods for about like 2 miles and got to the truck, took her to the ER vet, and they barely got her to like make it through the night. But she pulled through. But that was one of like the worst injuries I had to go through with the dog.
Sounds like you done the right thing because I mean she made it through, even though it was even though she barely made it through, she still made it through.
Yeah, ended up the vet said it didn't hit her lung or anything, but it was super close, and she was pretty close to dying. But that's pretty much the only real bad injury besides the last injury that my dogs had, and the one that Sam was involved with. We pretty much just stapled them up though. It wasn't nothing like crazy where like they were like dying.
That
Yeah.
that can be super stressful when they get to
Mhm.
where they're where it's bad enough to where you're losing dogs and you have multiple dogs injured. That can, I mean, it's very hard to stay calm.
Yeah, for
First
sure.
off, and then there's so much going on, dude. It just, I that's one reason we quit running so many rough dogs, like
Yeah.
we were running run and catch dogs, and which I still have them. I still have a whole pack of them, and it's just one of those deals. I only run them a certain way at certain times, and it just for those guys out there that do it day in and day out, my hat's off to you. You know, if they're running all run and catch dogs, because you go through some staples.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, pretty much those are all the dogs my buddy Dan runs are all pretty much running catch dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 cur dogs that I had as well, by the time they got mature and stuff, they stopped baying. So I would just get there and the hog was already caught, which it's cool and all, but like, you know, I do kind of like the old traditional way where, you know, you get to the bay, you can see it, and then you send the bulldog. That's what I'm kind of moving towards, you know.
That we went back to that the past couple years. The past 2 years, really, we've went back to it predominantly. That's the only way we hunt now. I don't catch as many hogs, but also we don't use as many staples, and we don't lose dogs, you know. So it's a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And you don't have to be in a huge hurry. You know, you can kind of take your time. If you got guests with you, or if you want to take your family or your kids or something, you don't have to worry about just it being a shit show all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Back, so that's one thing I like about it. So, do you do any trapping or anything like that yet? Have you got into doing that?
No, it's just straight.
Just straight hammering them.
Yeah, straight dogs. Because like I said, I didn't grow up. I had my first dog at I think I was like 21 when I got that little mutt dog, and so ever since I'm 25 now.
25. Okay, that just makes sure. I got you.
Yeah, and then ever since I got my first dog, it kind of became an addiction. So I have to have dogs and hunt with them.
I fully understand. We we do a little bit of trapping and stuff too. One of the main reasons we do is because that's how we get a lot of our property that we get to hunt with dogs.
Yeah,
we'll trap it during deer season, and then the rest of the time, you know, we get to run it with dogs. And we can't have live hogs here in the state of Alabama. So but you can dispatch hogs in a trap with a dog and a knife. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those deals we get a little dog training in at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of those kind of gray areas, and you got to make the best of it. But if it wasn't for that, we probably would never do anything but just run dogs.
Yeah.
But we got all different kinds anyway. A bunch of shit eaters that ain't no good. So what are you looking into doing? What's the future hold for you? I mean, I know you said you wanted to try to get into some hounds or some crosses or something like that, or you want to continue doing this and get bigger and bigger, or just kind of stay just, you know, 1 or 2 guys and just have a good time?
Honestly, just probably the 2 buddies that I have and whoever ends up coming. I'm not trying to get famous like you guys.
Oh Lord, no, don't do that. Don't be famous like me. You can't even you can't go to Walmart. All the women are flogging me, and the guys are like, "Let me have your autograph." And no, man, it's a tough life.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh.
Yeah. For the future right now, it kind of sucks because obviously being in the military.
Yeah.
So for the next probably till November, I will not be able. So starting January of next year, I won't be able to hunt at all. So,
damn.
Yeah. So that's why I place my dogs as well with people that are going to hunt them and that are still walk hunting and all that stuff. They have short range dogs, because next September, that's when I plan on getting the puppies and kind of starting over from scratch.
Yep.
But I mean, that's the future. And like I said, right now I have a little game bred female, and then I'm gonna get another game bred female, pretty much to use as my catch dogs. But I'm gonna let them mature, up until I start running my little like cur dogs or hounds or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, as of now, I'm still gonna work them, like spring pull and all that stuff, and
Sure.
yeah.
Do you have anybody in mind, like anybody's dogs or a line of dogs that for your strike dogs that you've been looking, like you see on social media or something like that? Do you have anybody in mind where you would get those dogs you're looking for?
I mean, honestly, and I think you guys have a couple of them. I have been looking at the Kemmer curs,
Yeah.
getting one of those little yellow dogs.
Oh yeah. We actually crossed them up with a little bit longer range blackmouth cur,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna see what those hold. It's something new for us as well. We haven't done these. This is something new, but the Kimmers, I really like the Kimmers. They seem to fit the bill for a lot of stuff. That little Louis dog Nathan's got. I mean, we took him out the other day. Sunday?
Yeah, Sundays.
He got out and he struck hogs in front of the oldest dogs we got. Carried him down. We wind up catching hog, and it's so dry here, it's ridiculous. And then we turned around today, and this morning, first thing we got up and went and blood trailed a deer with him. They're very versatile. And the other day, that last race, I don't know, what do you think? He was 2.5, 3 miles?
Yeah.
He puts the heat on,
Yeah, for sure. That's what I hear. I mean, I hear from you guys and other people. They're pretty much like a cur hound, pretty much.
Well, yeah, and houndy cur.
Yeah.
That's what they're.
Houndy cur.
Logan Campbell talks about a houndy cur, and Logan Campbell has some of the best that I've seen. Man, when I tell you, you can take those dogs in the middle of July or August at 2:00 in the afternoon and drop them, and they will burn a hog's ass up for 6 more hours. I promise you, they'll do it.
That's crazy.
I'm talking about they will get it. His have a little bit of this and that, and it's a little secret recipe there. But those houndy type curs, they really tend to run more to the cur side, if you ask me. I mean, more to the hound side, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Just the way they hunt, they pack well together. You can pack dogs into them just like you do on a bear race or something. They work really good. Cody Godwin has some, which Cody's got some Kimmers and stuff, and I think he's doing some crosses. Kerry Brown has that style of dog. There's several guys that run those, but as far as a full cur that does it, some of the Kimmer curs, they really can get out there and get it done.
Yeah, for sure.
So but we've got, I don't know how many we got now, 3 or 4 full-blooded Kimmers, and then we got a bunch of crosses.
Yeah, we have 3 full-blooded Kimmers.
Yeah. So just, you might look up on that. If we get some out of some of these litters that get started good, we'll have them started hopefully this summer or next summer. And if we can get a couple that are young enough to start, we might send you one.
Yeah, for sure. I would really appreciate that.
One or
Thank
two
you.
that's already kind of going, and you can get you some more pups and go with them. And start you a good pack out, because we got to place dogs.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what we're about to have a female that's going to have puppies next week.
Dude, she
looks super pregnant. If she's got a bunch extra, maybe they should be longer range cur style dogs.
Yeah, she was casting half a mile or more, 1,000+ yards every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like she's still pretty young. She's still. Normally, we wouldn't breed them at less than 3 years old, but like I said, she's coming too, and I wanted to get her bred before anything happened. Of course, you know, her and her sister for sure. So, but yeah, those kind of dogs seem to really be fitting in the hog hunting world real good, and I know they have for years. There's a lot of old timers out there that been running cur and hound crosses, but they wouldn't never share with anybody.
Yeah.
You couldn't get them. Like, it didn't matter who you were. They're like, nope, we're not getting them. Let nobody get them dogs. Pat Lewing, he has some good, really good houndy curs, I guess you'd call them. Same kind of deal. You know, a lot of his are going to be 3/4 and a quarter.
Yeah.
3/4 hound and a quarter cur maybe. But they are some high drive son of bitches. You better put some weed eater string. They're feral. They're gonna get out of there.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, Pat's got some of them. That's something, man. I know a few guys that are running them, and they do really good. We've had several of them, and all of them, especially when they're young, man, they start up real easy.
Yeah,
because they want to hunt, you know. And it don't matter what it is; they're meat dogs.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of want to start running other things besides hogs, like maybe bear, you know, something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's, especially if you get like some Kimmers or some more versatile cur dogs, definitely fun.
Yeah. Running.
And then I might even, depending on what you guys think of that Cuban cur I sent you guys, I might get some more. I don't know.
I've already got another one. I got to get from. As a matter of fact, Alex messaged me the other day and told me, he was like, "Hey, you need to come get this puppy." Because, like, I mean, Coca, I put her, we let her sit for a little bit so she would kind of, you know, get mentally mature. Mm-hmm. But I promise you, she has no problem engaging.
Yeah.
Like, she, first time we took her out to the woods and just had a little play day. And I'll send you some pictures, videos later. Or Nate will, one of us will.
She's starting to get to where she's like really long.
Yeah, she
kind of looks real funny.
Long and leggy.
She's still real funny. She's getting where she don't bark on a chain as much, but up until just a month or two ago, literally you'd be out there, Coca, shut up, throwing sticks at her, and she'd go over and lay down. You turn around, and she goes stand at the end of the chain and just start chopping. And I just
high drive, man.
I just quit. I can't. I give up. She can bark, I guess.
Yeah.
But, she was a good puppy. Like, I think I told Nate. I mean, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I had her running out in the woods with me because I was running that brindle cur dog right before I moved from North Carolina down to Georgia again. I was running that brindle cur dog by himself, and I just literally took her out there like probably like 3 to 4 times. And she was like 3 months old, and she was trying to follow him through the woods, no tracking collar or anything. And he caught a couple pigs, like little shoats and stuff, and she got in there, and I was like, this dog's probably going to be something good, hopefully, you know?
I don't think I don't know if she's going to be more catchy or bay yet. She's been catchy pretty good with the other young dogs, but they're all, you know, at that age, you don't really know what they are, you know? We had one named Jughead, a blackmouth cur, and he was rough as a bulldog. And then he backed up, started baying one day. And literally just stands back and bays real like he's supposed to. And I'm fine with that because that's what we wanted, you know. And it's like, it just goes to show you never know, really.
Yeah.
Especially on some of the stuff that, you know, that stuff that we haven't had here. So I don't know what it's going to do until, you know, now after I have it for a couple of generations, I might have a decent idea of what it should do.
Yeah.
So are you going to be able to go to any more of the bay pens and stuff?
No, not until not until like September.
I got you. So you're going to be gone for a little while?
Yeah, kind of sucks. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I know Mr. Mark's going to have one at Hickory Crossings November 9th in 10.
oh, okay, that one, yes.
Okay.
Starting January, that's what I meant. Like starting January of 2025,
Okay.
I'll be like, I won't be here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I got you.
but yeah, I should be going to that one. Um,
Well, maybe we'll see you there.
yeah, for
I
sure.
hope so. I might bring Coca and run her in the puppy class in the puppy bay.
Yeah, let's see how she does.
I just don't know if she's going to bay a whole lot. I mean, well, she might with the bigger hogs. She might do it.
Yeah,
She's a little fireball though. I really like her.
yeah, she was a good puppy.
Mm-hmm. Now, and where did you get her from?
So I got her from down south there in like near Alex, pretty much.
Okay.
From another Cuban guy. He's not super popular on the internet, but
Yeah.
I think he goes by Cuban Swine on Facebook, and
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah, he's had generations of, that's what he told me or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, she comes from proven dogs. So yeah, I was actually going to get her brother not long ago until I found out I was going to be leaving. So I ended up passing up on him. But yeah,
That'd be pretty cool there. So
yeah,
yeah, like I said, I got to get with Alex and get them pups. Scott Lanier, I think he might be able to go meet him or to drive down there and pick him up and try to make it work to where we can get him. It's a pretty good ride from here to Miami, so
yeah, it is.
maybe we can catch him a ride. I hope. It's good. It's good to make that many have that many friends and acquaintances to where you can call in about any state and have somebody do something for you or pick something up or send you something or whatever. It's pretty cool to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
It just goes to show you how many of these, how big of a network the dog men and women are in the world. So
Yeah.
so how do you look at the whole sport of hog dogging with since you've been in it? And okay, so how did you look at it when you very first started? How do you look at it now? Has it changed any in the past 2 or 3 years or past 3 years? Or,
Um, uh, it has changed a bit. Like, I know like when I first started, and I know you guys have said it a million times, it's super, super hard to like get the right. I mean, I kind of got lucky with my buddy Dan, but once I moved up to North Carolina, it was the same thing. Like, I didn't know anyone, so literally trying to get into the right group, it was very hard. Everyone just pretty much just tells you to F off.
yep.
Um, and yeah, but like now that I'm like I kind of know people, and it once you like get in the community more, like a lot of doors start to open, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much just like from the beginning, it's real hard. That's the only thing I can like really say.
Well, I mean, it's in a way that's a good thing because
Yeah.
most of the guys my age and older, we have been shit on so many times by people who are just starting out because they really have no intentions of really doing it. It's just a spur of the moment deal, and it's a new fad, and it's going to be over with as soon as no longer than it starts. And then you have
Yeah.
guys like yourself who are really want to do it and are serious about it, and it's harder for you guys to get in because of the other guys that bullshitted so much. You get the older guys that or the guys that's been hunting a longer time. They just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm glad that you got in with the right people and got a good group to hunt with and met somebody like Dan. I mean, my hats off to Dan for stepping up and saying, "Hey man, I'm here. Let's go hunt. I'll show you the ropes,"
Yeah.
and doing it the right way. Because there'll be a time before too long, it's going to be your turn to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've already like, I've only been doing it 3 years, and I've had a couple people try to like message me and like get some tips and like, um, you know, ask me if they can go with me, but they're not my properties. So usually I just go, listen, man, they're not my property, so I can't,
Yeah,
invite you.
that's right. And that's another reason why it's working out good because you're not doing crazy stuff
Yeah,
like showing up with five other people, and
yeah, for
it
sure.
happens. It's happened plenty of times. So, what advice would you give somebody new that's starting out? How to get in and get themselves established.
I would just say like kind of like we were saying, like just get involved with I would say honestly, go to the bay pens, the bay competitions, or whatever you want to call them, because
Mm-hmm.
there you'll meet like a lot of good people, and if you're a good dude, like someone's gonna take you in, and like if you're serious about it, um, and then pretty much just learn and listen from them. And I wouldn't get dogs right away as well. Um, I think I made that mistake of getting a dog right away because that little terrier I had, I mean, he was a good dog, like he was a good rough dog, but uh, he was just annoying. He didn't fit the pack real well,
Yeah.
because you know how they are.
Oh yeah.
And I could tell my buddy sometimes would get frustrated with him and like he would just deal with it. But I would say, yeah, just kind of be patient with getting dogs and stuff. And then when the right dog comes along, a puppy, and that's when you get it.
Yeah. I was really blessed to have some mentors that which I had already been in the bulldog world for my whole life, and so I knew it was like don't show up with a bunch of dogs and all that shit. But it was like once they knew I was serious and I'd been there for a while, dude, I never had to worry about dogs ever.
Yeah,
I mean, I would be like, what am I going to do with all these dogs that I have? They're good dogs, and I didn't have to buy them. That was the greatest part of it. It was like if somebody had a litter of pups off their two best dogs, they were like, "Hey, Joey, here's a pup," because we hunted together anyway, or they knew I was going to hunt it, and they knew I was doing what I said I was going to do. So I wound up, and then there's plenty of times where, like you said a while ago, you placed your dogs with somebody who's going to put them in the woods and who's going to hunt them. It they
yeah,
good deeds get rewarded over a period of time. I mean, it's one of those things. If you do what you say you're going to do, and you put forth the effort and the time, it'll come out. It'll show
For sure.
yeah,
It'll
for sure.
definitely show. But that was one of the main things I was kind of curious of to see what you had to say on that because it really there's so many guys that get started. They want to go get 4 or 5 dogs real quick.
Yeah,
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's really not the best thing to do.
yeah, for sure. Especially getting grown dogs. Like, uh, I think I made the mistake once of getting one grown dog, which it was a little bit ago. But like, other than that, like, I'm not gonna, it's gonna be puppies from the right people, and yeah,
You just got to put your time in. That's what it comes
yeah,
down to, the patience level. And it sucks in a way because it's like, man, it's going to take me, it's going to take me 2 years to really see what I'm doing here.
yeah,
But if you get them from the right people, then you got a good idea that they're gonna turn out.
yeah, for sure.
That's pretty awesome though. I mean, I'm glad you're in the hog hunting world with dogs, man. It's a breath of fresh air to have somebody that like that.
Yeah. And then like I said, I'm kind of starting to dabble into the whole game dog thing. Like using them as catch dogs, obviously, but
Oh yeah,
I'm starting to like talk to a lot of the dudes, and one of them is like I said, is hooking me up with a pretty badass puppy coming from down south, um, and from proven dogs and stuff, and you know, I just got to pay the shipper and all that stuff, so
mm-hmm.
it's not I'm not getting charged an eye or something.
Oh yeah, and that's the cool thing there. When you get into those game dogs, though, man, that's one of them things to me. It's addictive.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I got my first one from a guy down in South Florida. I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys follow him. I don't know. I think it's Fireball Kennels down there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and yeah, once I got her, I was like, damn, man, I kind of want another one. And so that's why I ended up getting another one. And she should be here sometime next month. But she's one of the papered ones from the ADBA or whatever it's called, where you can take them to the shows and stuff, all that stuff. Yeah.
That's cool though. I mean, you can, because there's still a lot of stuff you can do with with a game dog.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even other than just catching hogs with them. I mean, you got bench shows, you got all different type of actual shows that you can go to, and then you got the weight pulling stuff, agility courses, all kinds of junk that you can do. We used to do that shit every weekend somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking into doing that as well, like with this next puppy that's coming, since she's got the papers and everything. So,
yeah.
I mean, those shows look kind of cool, like I seen the pictures of the Tennessee one not long ago.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I got a good friend of mine. He's the president of the ADBA here in Alabama. And they always have some kind of shows going on and stuff. So if you ever, once you get settled into it or whatever, I'll shoot you some info on those.
Yeah, sounds good. I would appreciate
You might want to check some of those out as well. So, but that's cool, man. You got anything else you want to add or discuss on here?
No, I think that should be it.
You got it. Okay. Well, I mean, it's cool. Like, big deal. We ain't got to talk for 5 damn hours.
I mean, actually, one crazy. I mean, because I know you guys do the crazy stories,
Listen, come on with it. Do it.
So one crazy story with that Brindle cur dog you guys met, Kuda. He So when I was walk hunting a lot in North Carolina, there'd be some property lines would get crossed sometimes, and this one time we were on the game land, and they crossed the line, probably they weren't supposed to be on. I kind of knew, so I was like, I gotta go get my dog. So I tried to go get them the day he had struck a hog, and they had it caught, him and my red cur dog. And so I go in there, do my thing real quick, and I wake up to a picture that was like it was floating around the internet, and it was like pretty much he made me famous for a little bit, and I remember Rankin, from Boars N Broads.
Yeah.
He went and commented on the picture, and he was like, "Run that dog," and it caused so much fucking it pissed people off, and they're just like going off on it. I wasn't trying to do anything wrong, but I was just trying to get my dogs. But yeah, that's pretty much the craziest story I got with my dogs.
That's pretty wild there.
Yeah.
So what did he get? Just get is the picture and stuff still on the internet?
Oh, it probably is, honestly, on a couple of those hog pages. I ended up on the trail cam. That's all.
Oh yeah, I've been on a few of them. We got on one. I don't even remember where the fuck we were at, and I literally had my phone and I pulled up my phone number on my phone and held it in front of the fucking camera. I was like, and I was sitting there pointing it. I was like, call me. I was like, if this is a fucking problem, call me, because I didn't know what else to do. I was like, I'm going to get my dogs. Like, sorry, I got to go get them. And well, I never got a call, so I was fine with that. And then last Monday, as a matter of fact, we got into that situation. We went to a property and dogs started baying. We walked down this little creek, and there's a homemade trap there, and there's fucking cameras like all around it. Like, there's probably $1,000 worth of cameras.
Yeah.
And we're standing in the middle of it, and I was like, oh, shit. And so I got a call from that guy the next day. He was pretty cool about it. He wasn't too upset. But, like, we had permission to be on the neighboring property. And he didn't tell the neighbor that he was trying to catch those hogs either. There was no communication. And plus, he only had like 26 acres, maybe, I think is what he said. So,
yeah,
I was like, yeah, but, it could be worse.
yeah, for sure. Like the pictures that they got, it was kind of a cool picture. It was a picture of my dog. Cause I'm pretty sure he trailed that. He's like smelled the hog and he ran it. It was like at a feeder. I didn't even know there was a feeder out there. And the trail cam picture is of my dog literally running up to the hog, and you can see it on the trail cam. And then there's another picture of me walking out, and yeah, it was kind of bad. It was a bad situation, but
I agree with Ryan. Run that damn dog.
Yeah, I remember Ryan went on there because everyone was talking shit. They're like, just everyone was backing the dude up, the property owner. I mean, I understand, you don't want people on your property, but they were just talking mad smack. Like, if I see that dog, I'm going to shoot it on the property and all that. And yeah, and then Ryan goes on there and he goes, yeah, run that dog. And they started getting pissed, or like, this is why dog hunters get a bad name, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's so weird that, the way people get all bent out of shape about some shit, about these dogs. Like, okay, for instance, the one I was just talking about, that guy, he was, like I said, he wasn't excited about it. But at the same time, he was like, well, man, bow season's starting and we're trying to deer hunt and blah, blah, blah. And now keep in mind, all we did literally was go down there, I seen the camera, called the dogs out, and we left.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I went to his house, knocked on the door, told his wife who we were, why we were there, left my number so he could contact me. Because I told him, I was like, look, if there's guys walking around in the woods by my house with dogs and stuff, and I don't know them, I would want to know who they are and what the fuck they're doing at my place. I said, the dogs got off the property. And literally, when I say off the property, there's a little creek that's fucking 10 feet wide, no more than 20 feet. And they were on one side and we were on the other. That's how far off we were. And the guy that's actually hunting the property that we're we're on, right? He called and said, dude, y'all ain't gonna hurt nothing. He said, run the hell out of them dogs. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
If anybody was going to be upset, the guy that's actually hunting it should be the one upset, not the neighbor. So it's just weird how some people can see it and others can't.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you don't do it on purpose. You're like, it happens.
Yeah, it dogs can't read. They're just fucking following the scent.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
If you get a little dog that's running and he's trying to get down there, so I'm gonna go get him. If he's gonna go do his part, I'm gonna do mine.
Yeah, for sure.
I can tell him so. That's a pretty cool story, though. I'm gonna have to check that out. See if I can find that picture.
Yeah, I might send it to you guys. I'll send it to Nate. See if.
Yeah, see, I should say send it to Nate because I'd like to see it. It seems like I remember it. For some reason, I'm gonna say it seems like I remember that because I was messing with Ryan about him starting shit. I was like, "Well, way to go, Ryan."
Yeah, you guys might have seen it. I don't know. It's stupid because the caption he put is completely wrong because he was just going on you guys will see what he's like when I send you the picture. It's completely wrong because I wasn't even near his property, but my dogs obviously they trailed the hog, and his property was super small too. It was a little sliver of the place I was on, so it was just crazy how that happened.
That's the ones that's going to complain the most. The ones that's got 5 acres in the middle of 5,000.
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, buddy. No doubt. Well, man, I hope we get to see you at Mark's at Hickory Crossing. Maybe we can hang out and shoot the shit and talk dogs a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I should be there. You said in November,
Yeah, it's
right?
November 9th and 10th.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think usually it starts, Friday afternoon about dark. They'll have a welcome supper and a party that night. They'll have barbecue, food, all you want to eat, and then Saturday they'll start the baying. They'll bay Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I should be there if I'm not stuck at work or something.
I got you. Well, I mean, like I said, if you can make it, let us know for sure, and we'll get together. Or if you get there, just look us up because I'm pretty sure I know Ryan's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Carter, he has to go back out of state or out of the states. He's got to go back out for work, so he'll be gone for a while longer. And then, but I think Jonathan Hill said something about if we come out there, if we're all able to make it to bring the Garmin collars and we go tie one up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'll text Nate on Instagram if while I'm heading up there.
Okay, Armando. Well, man, we appreciate you taking your time to get on here and talking with us. Like I said, I'm glad we got new people like you that are coming into the hog hunting or dog hunting. And if there's anything that we can do, if you need us, you know how to get a hold of us. Just holler at us, man.
Yes, sir.
We'll do whatever we can do.
Yes, sir, for sure. Thank you guys for everything you guys do for the community and everything. I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate that, man. Thanks for being a listener.
Oh yeah.
Even though we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Yeah, for sure. I listen like every time you guys post, but yeah.
Well, bless your heart.
Yeah. I got nothing to do sometimes,
Yeah, ain't nothing better to do. Just kick on old Dixie Doggers podcast like what's them boys talking about today. Because you never know what the hell I'm going to say.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, amigo. That works, man. So be good, and maybe we'll see you then.
All right, you two guys. You guys have a good night.
All right, brother.
See you,
be good. Bye. See ya. All right, everybody. That was Mr. Hidalgo. I love that. That's a badass name. Hidalgo. Hidalgo. Have you ever seen the movie?
I'm pretty sure
Hidalgo? I used to watch it literally all the fucking time. Once a month I watched it. It was about the horse races in the Saudi Arabian desert. And a white guy goes over there and he's got a horse named Hidalgo. Yeah. And they go over there and take care of business. So. Yeah. But anyway, he's a newcomer to the sport. Fairly newcomer. He's been a few years now. And sounds like he's got the right thing on. We wound up getting a pup from him. We sent him an older dog that we had a while back. Everything worked out good for both of us. I'm kind of curious to see where the pup's going to be at this coming spring for sure. I think she's going to be something really. If she gets out and casts real good, and if she's not super rough, I just send it back to Armando. Yeah. Go full circle with it. So, hey, listeners, we appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. Thanks for listening. If you got any ideas for a podcast episode or some topics or something y'all want to talk about, don't forget to get with us or Uncle Pat for your call-in questions. It's getting time for us to do another episode with Uncle Pat. Make sure to get some good questions on there. We got time to do 3 or 4 questions. We've also dabbled around, and me and Nate have even talked about that little live episode we done with Houndsman XP. Been thinking about some of that stuff too. Y'all let us know what you think about that. And make sure that y'all like, subscribe, download, interact. Make sure you do all that shit. Eat your vegetables, get plenty of sleep, do the right things. Don't be mean. Okay? Be good. That's the quote for the day. I think I said that already one time. So I don't know where it came from, but it sounds good. And if
inspirational.
If you're not being good, then be good at it. Okay?
Don't half-ass anything.
Exactly. If you're being bad, don't get caught, because that's how they know you're bad. This is going nowhere real fast, like a snowball, headed for hell. Don't do that. All right. Remember, guys, you cannot catch shit sitting on the couch except herpes. Later. We out.
Thank you. Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.